grow up, I say grow up, that's really not true, but minister with Steve Harney at Oak Hill Baptist Church in Somerset for about 16, 17 years, and have just grown so much and learned so much through his ministry, and I'm so pleased to be able to be a part of his ministry here, and I'm glad to talk here. That makes me excited for him and for you. And just wanted to quickly introduce the Laurences. They're going to be our presenters today, and they have Soul Control, which we saw last night at the Good Samaritan skit. It was really, really cool. And they came here last year and didn't know that this is what they were going to be doing. And within the year's time, they have set up their ministry, and they're going to tell us how they did it and what we can learn from it. So let's give them a big hand.
We're really excited to share with you, so thank you for coming out, and pray that our time together will be of value to you. When Steve talked to us about presenting in class, he said, well, tell us how you did it. And we told him that we thought it would be more fruitful to tell people how not to do it as a joke. And he said, okay, then do that. So we didn't talk him out of us coming. So that's why we titled our talk on how not to start ministry. Okay, so we're thinking that you're probably here because you saw ministry teams last night. You think that's really cool, and we should do something like that. And that's exactly what happened to us last year. So a year ago this weekend, we were in a bowling alley, and we're looking around at each other, and we're talking, and we're saying, somebody should do something. And it felt like everybody was looking at us. And we were like, yeah, somebody else should be doing something. But we were really fired up and thought it was really cool. So we'll tell you some lessons learned, and we'll go from there. So probably because I work in automotive, I'm kind of a techno geek, so I have to start with the definition, so I don't mean to be condescending, but so when we talk about a ministry team, we're talking about the team is made primarily or solely of students themselves, and it's supported by faithful adults who provide the resources and the training. And so some of what we're saying is the adults minister to the ministry team, and then the ministry team ministers to somebody else. We think, duh. But that was a major shift for us in thinking. It was not, purchase a curriculum, bring people in, and they sit and stand up and sing when we tell them to, and then they send them on their way. It was a fundamental shift for us. It was something that we had to remind ourselves. And then because we were asked to be, we volunteered, we pushed, and we pushed Kevin. Our youth pastors here, we realized too that we have to minister to our workers as they minister to our team, as the team ministers to our younger individuals. So that was a shift for us. And okay. So what we wanted, so for us, not saying this is how you should do it, but it's not prescriptive. This is just sharing how we did it. That our team is made up of 5th and 6th graders. Each team is 4th and 5th. I think one team is 5th through 8th, or 6th through 8th. So ours is 5th and 6th, and our workers minister to the 5th and 6th graders, and then they go and minister to youth that are aged 4 to 10. So when we saw E-Team, we had boatloads of questions, lots and lots of questions. And we went to Jim Weir's Q&A after last year. We were in the audience, raising our hand, asking questions. And we wanted to know, what does it look like behind the scenes? Because we could see the finished product. And when for us, sitting there and watching 40 minutes of content, and you don't see any adults, it's like, how did that work? Because that doesn't just happen on its own. So we had lots of questions. But we figured out that we had another question before that, and that is asking yourself why you were starting the team. Because it's really cool and it's really fun when you see the finished product. And I had conversations with Jim Ware on the phone about 6 months in, when I had less hair than when we started. Yeah. And one of the things she reminded me of was that they've been doing it for 15 years. Okay? And that is not a small thing. That was I needed to hear that. Because it's not like Jim. That's okay. But sometimes it's not fun, and sometimes it's hard work. And so we need to remember why you're doing it. And that's the question that you have to ask yourself and answer yourself. Because your goals and your hopes and your values for young people will be different than ours, different than Jim's, different than Amy's, and your teams will be different too. Okay, so we're not prescribing and saying, come start a team just like ours. Ours is not just like Jim's, and it's different than Amy's. But, there's a great verse in Acts. I don't know where it is, but it talks about the times and places that we've got to work out of quotes our habitation. And all happens for a reason. You are in the church you are in with the young people you have because God put you there. Okay, so okay, so while we're doing it, the Lord helped us see the need. And it wasn't something we saw easily, so it's no credit to us. Pastor Kevin had asked us to go be greeters in the 5th and 6th grade Sunday school. Just go be greeters, welcome the young people in, and then when they get dismissed to their teaching time, just be there for the opening, go to class, go to Sunday school. You can do that. And so we did. And I lost my place. And one of the things that we were seeing is, there was some activity and there was some, really like students acting in some ways like they're consumers, entertainment, do something for me. And so, somebody should do something about that. And then another couple in the church, thinks that said, we're really concerned about this age group. You should pray about doing something. And that was 6 months before we started reading about a year ago, 2 years ago. And then 6 months before last year, a couple came to us and asked us to pray about what we could do. So we started to see the need. And we didn't do so much because we think it's a new mousetrap, or it's the cool thing to do, or it's the trendy thing to do with youth. What we saw is if they have to engage now, and if they could engage in the serving and doing instead of sitting and taking in, then that could be transformative for them. Not because we're bright, it's something that we start seeing as God worked us through this. And then when we came last year, it just blew us away. It has taken us in places we're not comfortable doing. I have turned into the old man. Get off my lawn, old man. Okay? I am not comfortable with little kids. I was better when I was younger. They scare me. Music frightens the daylights out of me. I'm not doing full music thing. I last had done puppets as a kid when I was 12. This is not where we would have asked to go. Working with, if Kevin had said, come with adults, much more comfortable. But God pulled us in this direction. I say all that to say, if you're comfortable, then maybe you're not pushing, you know what I mean? It's good to be uncomfortable. Okay, so we really thought this was a way to put them some work and give them some responsibility, and there's responsibility for them, and then they can use their opportunities. So getting started, we had to know where it was going to fit. Again, not prescriptive. For us, we had to know where we were going to stick into the big picture. And we talked to Pastor Kevin, he said, bring me a pool. Okay, so we started moving some things out, and he was awesome in supporting that. I would have said this if he weren't here. But he was very supportive for us. He wanted, we got to wrestle with how we're going to make it work. And so for us, where it was going to fit was start a junior church program. So our first and fourth graders go through junior church, and then we toss them into the big church, and they weren't coping very well. So it kind of sprung into tying together ministry and junior church together. I would not, don't do this at home. And we didn't realize the complexity of starting a junior church program and a ministry team that was coming out. That's what worked for us, but it really complicated things. It made it more difficult than maybe it could have been. Had we focused on one, maybe get the junior church going, then bring the ministry team out, or do the ministry team separate. But it added a little complexity. But in hindsight, we probably wouldn't have done it much differently. But it's just the way we did it. So you could launch it outside of a junior church. You could do it on an off night. There's a visitor, but that was what worked for us. But where we're going to meet, well, we're doing junior church, so it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock service for us. And this had implications that we didn't really appreciate at the time. So immediately starting with junior church, that kind of started taking away what rooms are available. Where's that going to put you? So we had to work through all that. And we had to work with who was on a team. This is something we wrestled with Kevin a bit. Because Jim's church practices from 9 to 12 every Saturday. So we're going to practice every Saturday. And there was concern that we wouldn't get parents involved. They wouldn't bring their kids out on the Saturday. Then Jim's church, there's membership requirements. They have to do weekly devotions they have to turn in. They have to have a grade point average. Well, we're already inside of junior church. This is the program for 5th and 6th graders. If we put membership requirements on, we're tossing it back in the big church with parents. So we compromise with Kevin, and everybody's welcome, and we do no so at Saturday practice. Now, that had implications for us. Again, that's just the way it worked out for us, and it had blessings. It had some cool things that ended up capping out of it. Which we'll get into in a second. So again, because we're doing part of junior church, there has to be teaching involved, which is the right thing. And again, that had implications as well. So I've kind of lost my thoughts, so let me go where my brain is right now. Because we have no membership requirements, we have seen kids that were very much on the margin and now they're getting involved. And we would shut them out. We have kids that would come to Sunday school and they would go sit with their parents. Which is fine, we don't split the family. They're fine with the parents. But we didn't want them to come because we didn't feel welcome. They started to come to Sunday school. So we've seen some kids that are margins coming to get active. We've seen some kids that I was concerned about because I'll start off by saying my son's very high strung. We've got some other high strung kids, and I thought I can't deal with them. Those kids scare me, and I wanted a tool to get them out of my hair if I needed it. To be frank with you, and Kevin said, "You can't have that to me." They're starting to come around because we were with them. So I was, we agreed to disagree, and I submitted to his authority, and God worked it out in a way I could never imagine. So that was really cool. Okay. So that kind of was a problem again because we had to teach devotion. What are we going to teach? And another unintended consequence is we thought about the children all have their prepackaged Bible stories all the way up. When are they going to get the whole piece of our faith for them to take home? So we decided to go through, our church has 20 articles of faith. It's the outside ministry team. And we're teaching them week by week the articles of faith. We're going through the Trinity, Satan, and prayer, and the Holy Spirit, and redemption, and repentance of faith. And they've been very receptive. They've been very receptive to that. So it was another unintended consequence of giving those some meat to chew on. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, so we're going to practice for the 11 a.m. service. So we had to figure out what we were going to do during that time. We had an hour and 10 minutes to go. And we thought, back up. That's right. We thought we'll never have enough to do. The kids will be bored out of their skulls. It'll be 20 after we'll get out of all of our material. That's not been the case. We have trouble cramming everything in. Because we're doing mini church service first. They sing, we pray, we get a message, then we break into our team. But we didn't know what we were going to do first. So there's a gazillion of opportunities. I really love what Brother Steve said yesterday about the flag team. Who would have guessed, right? The flag team, look at the community. That's awesome. Junior's church thought their church was burnt with puppets, so they went black light, which refreshes it. It's a puppet, but it refreshes it. Our kids have not been over to those puppets. Puppets work for us. So what works for you? Okay. So that's why there's videos and skits and music. We have musicians in our class. We have 5th and 6th graders playing their trumpets now. We're working on one of our kids who plays guitar. We're trying to get them involved. So take an inventory of your kids and your workers. We have workers that have video editing capability. We're like 3D on sound. We've got we had some of our kids that already worked with puppets in the past. We had just a lot of talent that was just latent there. We were wasting it. One of our students likes to write scripts, so we performed 3 3 of his skits already. It's pretty cool. So how were we going to do it? This was a defining moment for us, and this is where we reached out. We had another couple come over to our house. We took yellow Post-it notes. It's a beautiful spring day, and we covered the front of our house with Post-it notes. All of our ideas we brainstormed. It was dumb, stupid, happy. We wrote them, put them up on the board, or on the wall, or our siding, and our door. And our neighbors were looking at us over there. And then we just started organizing it into topics and categories, and trying to see what fit. So a piece of advice is reach out. Try to do this alone. Reach out to the people. Pray for her help. The Lord will deliver that. And it's been a huge blessing for us. The workers that have come and been part of it. Okay, so we want to make sure we engage as many students as possible. Remember, this was not going to be closed. So we had to try to engage kids that were not going to want to be engaged. So if we could get them engaged, we knew we could get them to engage the students they were administering to. One of the things here is not everybody likes puppets. Not everybody likes being in front of a crowd. And how are we going to work that in? So what we decided on is we would do some skits. The one on the left is Johnny Echo. You're going to see Johnny Echo this afternoon. And the one on the right is the Parable of the Talents. And the guy on the far right, is Spencer. He wrote the script. He read Parable of the Talents. He wrote the script for it. All right, so we had a group called Cast. Here you see a very tall 5th grader. Actually, that's one of our adult workers. And Jim's program, if you're not there on Saturday, you don't play on Sunday. Okay? And if you show up Saturday, you're probably going to have that student there on Sunday. We have no guarantee. We're 7 days away between practices. So it is not uncommon for us to have stand-ins at the last minute. So we've had kids go up with their scripts and read their lines. They've not seen it before, they go. Okay, when Brother Harney came, I think it was like one of our worst days for attendance. We had a bunch of people with scripts going on. It goes. That's our way. Please, please jump in anytime. I got pictures. Yes. We got good bread and this princess flag. Yes, we do. Yep. We have high schoolers involved as MCs. This is a bit we stole from, so this is an idea. We watch old movies. We love Lewis and Martin and Marx Brothers, thank you. So this is, we stole this from Jerry Lewis. He's coming out of the suitcase. Here's Greg as, the big guy is Greg. He's Princess Leia there. That's a Johnny Echo skit. We've got cinnamon buns as Princess Leia's hair. So he jumped in and passed out. And here, or jumped into a skit. Here we are getting ready to go on. It's in the green room, so to speak. Everybody's getting ready to go on. We also do puppets. Puppets is not dead. Kids enjoy the puppets. We point out the lady on the your far right. I'll probably come in when I talk about workers. Just do not close your mind about workers. Okay? When we pray for workers, we wanted people who are not already doing things. Now we have people who are already double and triple books that we have. Greg, John, they're already doing other stuff. But we wanted to get people who are not doing something into the ministry. We wanted to do some ministry for adults. So we specifically targeted people that were not doing something, and we wanted to include as wide a range of ages. And too often our older grandparents get shunned aside, and we don't look at them as resources. And I learned that from my grandfather, who would never volunteer, but was always sad that he was asked. So we wanted to ask grandparents. Okay, so we have people from 14 elementary all the way up to 70. This is Mrs. Harris. Her husband was my Sunday school teacher. It's very cool to be working with him. Here we are performing for the 4s and 5s. And then, okay, so we do with these kids who don't like puppets, don't like to be on stage. We just try to create what's called crew, and they do projects. So they will help on performance day, wrangling props, wrangling, we do a ping pong dump, like Captain Kangaroo, is one of our gags. Well, who picks up ping pong balls? Who does? Okay? And these are for the kids who don't feel like they're welcome anywhere else. We're going to have kids that mainly come in and front of the stage, and we have a place for them to go be into the comfortable. We've slowly been pulling people out of crew to come perform as we can. And they love their projects. They have sent, last year we sent a card to every member in the church who had lost a family member. Got a card at Christmas time. They have made snacks for the younger grades. They work on a scrapbook. What else have they done? They've made props. They've made work on costumes. Yep. So they are making snacks, I think. And then the last thing we wanted to do, again, this is more on the junior church side than it is on ministry team side. And this is where assuming gets you. So let me take a second to park on this. I love the testimonies. I love the prayer that he does. So how does Jim Ware do that? Well, he must have some training class. That's what we assume. So we are going to have a training class. So we decided that 4 times a year we would cease all production and we would break away for several weeks, 3 to 4 weeks out of the month, and we would do what we call core. And we would try to get some core things. Because we're always being on kids, read your Bible, pray, right? So we break away and we're talking about this is how you pray, this is how you read the Bible, this is how you study, here's some tools for memorization. And then we called Jim, he's like, no, I don't do that. We asked for help after. So we'll leave our email with you guys, or anybody wants to work. Jim was very, very gracious to us. We called him on the phone and said, you should call me a while ago. You guys are making it way too complicated. But this was core, and it's been cool. It's been cool. Right now we're doing core on prayer. This one was core on reading the Bible. So our plan was to have cast, crew, and core. And then after that we added on some instrumentals and done some videos, which will, can I show a video? We'll do it right now. We'll do it right now? I'll show you a piece of it. We'll show a piece of the video. So while he's getting that ready to go, we are conservative in our church, and we want to be respectful of that while having music that kids like. And so semi-conservative. Semi-conservative, okay.
Some of the DVDs that we had.
So this
are
right. So the music I think was okay, but the video that went with it was very rowdy. It was very edgy. And that's it. So we made our own with our kids. And now it's used in the 1st and 4th grade junior church when we're not even there. Lonnie uses it. And this is one of 2 videos we've done. So we completely stole the music. Right? And we shot the video. It's just really simple, but they loved it. They love doing it. What's cool is these kids are also in Awana that runs, and we have a general assembly for Awana, and we sing the song, and our kids will rush the stage, go jump on stage, and help make sure that all the little ones are knowing what our emotions are for the song. It's so cool. So we hope to do some more of this. Yeah, that's right. That's where we got. That's right. So Mr. Greg, he's one of our major helpers. He's another one. So how many weeks did you work on that? A long time.
Well, we filmed it in 1 week because we just rotated the kids in and out, and then I'd never used the program before, and one night I said, Lord, we're running this program. That's the result.
So I mean to give that no short shrift by having you jump in and get out of that, but a lot of work that goes on outside. Okay. All right, so while you're getting back, so we prayed for our workers. There were people that God just laid on our heart. We didn't know them, and we felt that we needed to bless them. We've had tremendous response. People we didn't know, people we knew very well. Thank you. Get ahead. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, let me back up. All right, so we presented, I don't know, that's fine. Okay. Let me back up. All right, so we didn't have to present to leadership. We engaged our leadership early. It had to go to the board to be approved because it was a new ministry. So it forced us to sit down and write out proposals that Pastor Kevin should bring into the board to approve this new thing. And so it really forced us, it was one thing if it was in our head, but it really forced us to sit down. So even if your church isn't that formal, it was a good exercise for us to sit down and think through, why are we doing this? What are we trying to accomplish? And now it's funny now because we go back and look, oh yeah, we're going to do that. So I think it's a good, a good way to organize your thoughts and to know where you're going and why you're going there. It gives us some accountability too. We have some of the people on our board that they come and check on us in the plan, keep us accountable. Kevin asks how we do and he pops over and checks on us. And that's good. So we prayed for workers. Oh, thanks. We had to recruit them. So we did a couple things. We had read in K Magazine that one of the ways to get more helpers is to use them less often. So we set out to we asked 68 people, we have 27. We average how many, 25? 25 kids. Okay, we have more workers than we have kids, but they're not all in there at the same time. Okay, so there's a couple things we're doing. We're trying to get to where some people don't want to lose their Sunday morning service, so we want to rotate them in and out, keep them fresh. So they'll come in for a section, and then they rotate out two cycles, and then they come back in, and they're always fresh. So we have our part members, and they're awesome. Okay, and they're always fresh, and they got the energy. But they want to make sure they go hear Pastor preach, live, and then they can come back. Come back refreshed. The other thing is we practice 2D leadership. So we break out into different rooms to practice, and we always want to have 2 adults. Okay? So that requires us to have more people. So you may have a small MC team of 3 people, and you have 2 adults with 3 kids. Okay? So that requires a lot of manpower. But you orchestrate it how you can. There are times where maybe we're short, but we have a couple teams in one room, which is a little difficult, or we'll be in a hallway, and we're not behind a closed door. So we do that for our own protection and for the kids' protection. So we have a wide range. I mentioned that before. My cousin's daughter is going to be our new secretary to help us out, all the way up to the Harrises, which are in their 70s. So we have a really good range. So we have people younger than us to keep us young, and people older than us. We have good living. Now, let me stop and park on this point. We are stinky delegators. So playing into the how not to do this, don't try to do this yourself. So we found that we were getting bogged down. Lynn was out hunting down props and searching online for scripts, and there's some unreputable places. She went to one place that looked for free sound effects to save money, got boatload of viruses off this website. But we were trying to do all that ourselves rather than taking advantage of the people that were working with us. So here they were very faithful. Our work was very faithful to come in on Sunday morning, and we would hand off to them, but we were already tired because we worked all week to get all this stuff together. So delegation is really, really important. One thing that I met with John a couple times already is something that we've got to work on when we get home, is really coming up with a job description and saying, this is what we need you to do. Will you commit and take it and run with it? Okay? I don't do that very well. I'm a control freak. So to let go, this is really tough for me. But I really invite you to do that. It'll make it work much better. Not only does it make you better, because now then we can flow up to 30,000 feet and make sure we're going where we're supposed to be going, and the resources are there. We can't do that if we're down in the trenches. Somebody's got to be up looking at where it's going, right? And we've blown it this last year. But then most of the time, people are going to make it better than what you could have made yourself anyways. So I really by working together and trusting people and delegating. We went over to Fairhaven this morning. Pastor Tim was walking us around, completely oblivious to what's going on, because he had team leaders in each one of those rooms. He's not worrying about what we're doing next week. So that was a big mess up for us. So I think we overtaxed, and then there were some people that did come on and help us, and we burned them out pretty quickly because we didn't delegate across the board. We need help. Okay, you're going to help me, and I'm going to wear you out. Okay, right? And so I think we've lost a couple people already. We've lost a couple of our couples already because I think in some cases we didn't delegate to them and they were bored and we were using their talent. And then we lost some people, I think, because we burned them out really quick. Because when we did hand off, they just give you a lot of stuff. So it's that people management part. And so I was listening to Brother Steve last night about not telling his people that. So we have some work to do. We know we love them. We know we appreciate them. They don't. So really, as the leaders, we got to do a better job of ministering to our leaders as they minister to our teams. The other thing is we had so much chaos, and because of our complexity, we made it way too complex out of the gate. Because we launched to the ground running with skits and puppets right out of the gate, and teaching, and we had music. Because we did all that at one time. And I really appreciate what Brother Steve said too about doing one thing, killing it, and then adding something else. So I think okay. And I just have one more note. That rotation thing I talked about, we've had some people we know we have only because of that rotation. They're rotating in and out. All right, so our advice is then launch with a piece, get good with it, add a piece later, and then repeat. So maybe you're going to start with puppets, you get good with that, go with skits, maybe add some video in. But maybe your puppet ministry explodes, and you don't need to add anything else. We had dinner with Brother Steve. We talked about the Zach puppet. How that started on a conversation he had with public schools. In 3 weeks, they had a full program, and it just exploded. And they had tons of demand for that team to perform. And they didn't have to expand into a bunch of stuff. It was one thing. The flag team. The flag team's not doing skits and puppets. They're doing flags. But look at the impact they've made in their community, just doing flags. So I definitely, who knows again? But maybe puppets bomb. Maybe puppets bomb. That's okay. It'll be fine. I wouldn't don't give up engaging your students though. That's a key point. Okay, so we did not follow our own advice. We tried to do it off from the start. So just some fun stuff for logistics. When he said we were going to share space, he said it wasn't going to be a problem. I didn't know what sharing space was. Okay, so we let the kids name themselves. We had a naming process. These were just some of the names. All those acronyms mean something. I don't remember. Some of those are verses, like I think that's maybe. I don't remember. Wow was winning our world. That was our favorite going in. So anyways, the point is, stuff that doesn't matter, give to the kids. They voted and they came up with soul. And soul is always capitalized because it's seeking only you, Lord. So it's a soul. So we came up with a motto. We help them best learn, serve, witness, grow. We want them to learn and to serve and to be engaged in how we do what we do. We're really trying to engage them that not to wait until they're adults. Right now. We're trying to get back. When they go in down to minister, we tell them, you are the teachers. You are the teachers. You're not going to see us. We're hiding in the back. We're on the corner. We're in the back of the room. No one's looking at us. We're looking at you. You are the teachers. You are the one communicating Christ. So that's one of the things that we're focusing on is that they're the teachers. So, just a thought on logistics. Don't let our complexity scare you. If you're smart, don't do it the way we did it, and you'll be much more successful, a lot less complex. But my wife and I are very anal, and so we could not have, if we had a class last year, we probably wouldn't have, we still would have done it this way, probably. So you know what I'm doing, right? So, okay, that's my show file. I think we gave you a copy of this. So that's the only way we keep our head straight. Because we don't perform every week. Okay? So I think that's helps keep our head straight. figure all that out. What's reasonable? We thought we could practice for 3 weeks and perform on the 4th. We can't. There's no way. We can't do it. And how we base that on? Well, if Jim meets for 3 hours, and we have 3 Sundays, that's 3 hours, that means we can perform on the 4th Sunday. We're the same schedule as Jim. And it works so well. So we can practice for 5 weeks and we perform on the 6th. So we had to figure out where we were going to meet. Jim's advice was practice where you're going to perform, because anything you change for kids can and will mess them up. And we've seen that. But we can't practice where we meet because somebody else is using that space, so we adapt. We just roll with it. And we always with the kids, just roll with it. If something doesn't work out, it's okay. You know, it's not a big deal. That's part of life anyways. You have to adapt. You know, so just roll with it. So we talked a little bit about the recruiting. So we pray for them. It's not a place for workers to come and plop down, and not. You gotta be engaged. Very, very, very hands-on, and I wish we had had a clear roles and responsibilities and job description a year ago. So I'm really proud of our workers. They're really awesome, and I wonder what they could have done to have given a better direction. But we're all in it together too, right? But if I could save you that step, skip myself or something. There's a lot of panic that goes on.
Adrenaline.
Big time.
That's it.
Last night we were behind there, one of our students, Haley, she's like, I'm so nervous, I have cramps. And I'm thinking, so why? But I wasn't a teller. And I wasn't performing, but I was like, oh. We performed a couple weeks ago, and we got in our green room to get ready, and we should have left that room. And I'm in charge, and we didn't leave the room. I don't know why. And then I'm trying to step out to perform, and why am I in this room? And we're already started. I couldn't come out. It was dumb. We just rolled with it. So, anyways, we all panicked. Then I'm like, why were you in there? I don't know. One of the big questions that did not come up for us last night, when people came and asked us questions, was scripts. It was a huge thing a year ago. Everybody kept asking Jim, where do you get your scripts? So I thought I would mention it, and then nobody asked about it last night. He said it's the least of your worries, and in a way he's right, because you want to pray that you're doing something that's going to honor the Lord. You want to have the right people involved. You want to do it the right way. You want to be respectful of what else is going on. This was very low on our priority, but it's also, while it's the least of our worries, it's also one of the greatest of our worries, because there's a lot of junk out there. And there's a lot of scripts that they'll even say, this is the Bible verse, and this is related, and you can't tell. There's no link between the Bible verse and the content. It's so washed out, the gospel is gone. The word is gone, okay? So we steal a lot. Now all of our scripts, we say this too, now all of our scripts are scriptural, okay? We do humor. We do gags. So now scriptural. But we try to differentiate, so Parker's like, we have rules, okay? So there's no, there is humor in some of our scriptural scripts, like there was with Good Sam, okay? And all that was I sat down with the parable and typed it, and then the kids changed it, you know? So there's humor in it, but we don't have any clowning, specifically in a teaching skit. We're doing Johnny Echo today, it's clownish. It's very goofy. We try to have some semblance. We don't use that music or those characters. We never use Johnny Echo in a Bible script, is I guess what I'm saying. Johnny Echo's a clown. He's not makeup, he's a clown. We will never put Johnny Echo with a Bible issue. Okay? So we had to try some rules. But okay, yeah, it's fine. You know, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, there are copyrighted stuff. In fact, I'm worried about after, we didn't talk about this, but on the way down, I don't know if we gave credit or not. One of the ones, I don't know. Anyways, we need to do a better job of that. Is when it's copyrighted, we give credit. So, I'm sorry, so thank you for bringing it up. I don't mean to plagiarize. Okay, I advocate that. But, you know, and there's some that is open source, you know, use them however you want. Some of it says, use it if you contribute us. And we need to do a better job of keeping a log. We got this from this place. But,
when I saw that on there, what I thought you meant is when we steal gags from hear you was Martin and Captain Kangaroo, that we take stuff that we grew up with, you know, or theme songs, you know, that's what I thought. That,
It is.
You know, that we just copy a lot of that stuff, and these kids have never seen
Yeah,
it, they've
thank
never
you.
seen
Better way of
it,
saying
and
it.
so, yeah, it's funny, that thing with the kid popping out of the suitcase, that was, you know, the Colgate Comedy Hour back in black and white TV.
Like
These
1953.
kids love it, you know, so.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, so we need to be responsible as Christians. I thank you for that. But we don't feel like we have the, it's all on us to come up with all the scripts, right? So we borrow, we do, when Sam anoints David, Samuel anoints David, we watched that last year. I went home and I typed that out. That's something you keep doing. I typed that out. So it's the least of your worries, because there is stuff out there for free. There's stuff you can buy. There's register sites that will give you stuff. You can register with them. But we wanted high content, so high quality content. So it's been a bit of a challenge for us. But now we're through our first year. We figured 2-year program, we're going to start being able to repeat, and then we're going to be easier once we get a library of stuff together. So, another lesson learned is we were way over our students' heads. Way over. Okay? It's taken us a while to get it down. So we got it, so our 5th and 6th graders liked the material, but it was way over the head. Sometimes we had stuff that was too complex. One of the things that we learned is sometimes you have to introduce and tell the kids, this is going to be funny now. Now you can laugh. When we did the suitcase gag, we thought that would break them up laughing, because when we saw it for the first time, we were hysterical. They thought it was a magic trick, and no one laughed. I'm like, that was our best laugh line all day. And nobody laughed when he came out of the suitcase. He was dead. They're in a needle drop. I don't get it. Afterwards, the kids are up looking underneath the table. They're like, I knew there was a hole in here. They thought it was a magic trick. There was no, they didn't get the humor. So we use MCs now. We didn't do that first. We'd walk in and I'd forget about that part. Greg, can you introduce our speaker? He's like, okay, I can do that for you. So now we work MCs in to work in, okay, this part's going to be funny and this part's going to be a Bible story. To kind of cue them a little bit. We're trying to warn them up front. Exactly. Yeah, please laugh at this or you'll hurt our feelings. Props, be thrifty, be creative. It should add, it shouldn't take away. We're just building it over time. We get stuff from Salvation Army, out of our basement. Kids bring stuff in from home. Dollar store, we do a lot of dollar store stuff. It should just add, it's not a big deal. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. So involve your team to bring stuff in. One of our moms just did some work on our Johnny Echo cave. It was the dad, okay. My cousin made the cave. The dad of the young man who played Johnny Echo thought it didn't fit him properly. So dad took it home and worked on it. So, but be simple with your props. Don't get caught up in it. It's not a big deal. So on idea stuff, they can come from anywhere. Johnny Echo I ripped off from NPR on the way home. Okay. So that we got Dean Martin, Marx Brothers. We've gotten stuff from all over the place. So be creative, and I suggest using the MC thing. It gives us some consistency, gives you a little bit of transition. It's been fun. So again, the people, beat this to death, because I think it's important to beat it to death. Just really treasure your workers and steward their time so they're not wasting their time. We pray for them. We'll give them hugs. It's helpful when you're going through a time and somebody calls you unexpectedly and says, hey, I need some prayer. So try to do that for your people. Really encourage them, because it gets to be work. For us, all of our workers are all full-time employees of other stuff. For us, our job is secular world. So it's all on top of kids' soccer and school activities and everything else. So we like to be appreciated, so we should do that. So like I said, we have to do a much better job. So next steps for us is we want to add in testimonies. I think it's very powerful. It's provide the students an opportunity to present that, their faith in a safe environment to enable them and equip them to go share it outside. So that's something that Jim Weir's group does, and it's something we want to add in. We want to add in just through prayer. We want to get them more involved with their special effects and their video work. And we like to branch out outside the four walls. So now we have some helpful hints, hopefully. Be just like somebody else. No, don't do that. Okay? This is not somebody else's game. This is where God has placed you with the workers you have, with the students you have in the county. I love the flag story. I think this is so I think you should try everything at once. No. Okay, get that one thing, get it right. Then go from there. Okay, I'm sure you all have it all figured out. No, not so much. I should not have waited 6 months. Jim made himself available. I waited 6 months to work up the courage to call. Done. Done. And then I got tongue-tied on the phone. Got all nervous talking to him. He's just the sweetest guy. So ask for help. Okay, you can call us or email us. We'll get with that if you're interested. We'd like to actually encourage each other. We've already reached out to Amy's group, and we'll go share scripts, share ideas, and stuff. Encourage each other. So definitely focus on the performance. No. I get so worked up about who's going to forget their lines, who's going to forget their props, is our ping pong contraption going to work? And it's 5 minutes till, and Heidi and Holly aren't here again, and are they going to make it, or am I going to be married today? So, it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about serving Christ. It's something that we have to remember, and sometimes we have to remind each other to breathe. It doesn't matter. If we miss the line, so what? It's not big deal. It's with that prep work that's going on that we're engaging our kids before we get to the performance. I think that's all the work is done.
Like last night, the balloon, or not the balloon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she rolled with it.
Yeah, she just took the balloon unpopped it.
Yep. Yeah, that perfectly illustrates the point. And if something that we've been learning is that we're stressed as leaders, we will telegraph that to our young people, and they will pick it up and feed on it. And I don't do well with hiding it. In fact, just before I went to talk, I was walking back and forth out here. So I don't do well with that. It's something that I'm working on. So anyways, that telegraphs to your kids. They got enough on their own. We need to be confident. So don't be stressed out, because you're not somebody else, so just chill out. Okay, so we got time for some questions, and then I got some things linked. If you want to look at that, some of the tools that we use. You got copies of some of that in your packet. Why don't you tell me what we got? You can ask either one of us. If Greg's here, and John is here, and Pastor Kevin's here.
What we gave you, this is a half-hour program that we just finished. These are our order of service. There's 2 of them. The first one we used for the whole month, or however many weeks it was, getting ready, and somebody laughed. They were like, gosh, you guys have every minute planned of your junior church hour. Well, we have to. We don't have a minute to lose. And it shows you how we broke out into teams. And this helps us. We know where we're at and who's supposed to be on what, and it just helps us keep our head, because we both stress, and it helps us to breathe. And then the other one is an order of service for the actual day that we go to junior church, and our effects people follow it, and junior church and all our leaders, and it's who's up next. And it was supposed to be a 45-minute program. It ended up being a half-hour program.
Yeah, we blew it.
But we added in with, 10 minutes of songs or whatever. And then what you had next, our theme was the Christian Olympics, and we did it right at the end of the Winter Olympics. So the top one is the MCs and what they did and how they popped out in between each skit. And we gave you, I think, 2 skits and a puppet play. So it's just an idea, something to look at, and like I said, it's just a little thing to do, a half-hour program. Something to start with, so you're not on the internet trying to find where we get started. That's it.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's, we try to, so yes and no. Okay, so what we try, so the question was, do we just, go with whoever shows up so we don't have a tennis requirement? So if you don't come, we're not going to kick you out, right? So you're going to continue coming. So what we'll do is, because now we have a better feel a year in of who's going to be there and who's not, then we know we'll throw an extra cast member on as an extra. We have some junior hires that will come in. It's like we maybe overbooked ourselves and we're running ahead, so they'll come in and they'll practice different parts so they can step in at the end. And then sometimes we make suggestions on, okay, we know that this young person, their parents can't get ready. She loves to perform, but Brittany's not there 2 weeks out of the month. So we'll give her a piece that we're trying to, that can go. It's not as important. It's not concurrent. So we can do all that. And then our adults are ready to go. So Greg and Princess Leia, we've had adults who want to step in and it makes us nervous, but it works. And our first work gifts are so forgiving. They don't. So we have a script and we're working through it. And then the other thing is too, we can put some of our other tennis people in puppets. And I got a script back there while we're working my puppet. So that helps too. There's ways around it. I know we'll shove people around. Because we always try to encourage people to be here. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
If you work with them and you during this regular church hour, they have their practicing script.
Yep, so 11 o'clock to 11:30.
5 weeks, they actually come along. You mentioned before that you actually did this the first one,
We're trying, well, when we first started, so we would tell the people over the first fourth grade junior church, we're coming on this date, and we think we got about 15 minutes. So they're really flexible. They're like, okay. And then they'll know, they'll have a block of time for us. It's about 15 minutes. Now we're up to about 30 to 45 minutes, and now we're bringing our own speaker with us because we got that theme going. So we want somebody with us to go teach on the Christian race. But they're ready to fill in for us. I don't think I'm answering your question.
Your ultimate goal is to do.
Thank you. Yes, we want to be their church service, right? Right. It'll take us 5 weeks to get to where we're doing that. We can't do it ourselves. Yeah. But just one of our rules, the adult will provide a Bible message as part of our presentation. That's correct. Okay. And we work well. The two junior churches we work well together.
Well, I was thinking that you practice it all the same day. I'm like, so bad.
It's an English book. Anybody else? Really? We did set the question was, do we have a budget?
We give them some leeway being a new program, so we spend a little extra being a new program to get it going, and then we'll after they're established, we'll have to look at it and put a budget for them.
So the church has been very, very supportive in resources. No.
This one other group, she said that they paid us $50 towards their
Okay.
church took up the rest.
Okay. So like Pastor Kevin was saying, our church has been very supportive financially, and because we're new, but we also try to be really frugal and only go to something.
And they are. And they're very careful with what they spend.
So we're careful with that. The T-shirts, one of the people in our church loves what we do, and they would have bought our kids some T-shirts. So it was very cool. Yeah, it was a blessing. All right, we'll hang out for a couple minutes. Thank you, everybody.